into this quick because without further ado, Andrew Washburn is here, curator of the History Center's Candlelight themed exhibit. Andrew, thanks for being here.
You bet. Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Andrew, tell us about we talked about it as the Candlelight themed exhibit. And as folks know, here in Frankfort, Candlelight is coming up this week, starts on Thursday. But tell our viewers, it's called Illumination. Tell our viewers what they can expect to see there at the Historical Society.
That's right. It's the title's Illuminations, and it's an exploration of the history of light in Kentucky. It is sort of designed to fit the season. You know, with the clocks changing just yesterday, this is a time of darkness, and cultures and people throughout the ages have figured out ways to celebrate light during this time of year, and that sort of was the jumping off point. So that's one of the themes, is the way we turn to archaic forms of light to celebrate, whether it's Hanukkah menorahs or candles at candlelight vigils, to celebrate, to mourn, to come together at this time of year. The other major theme, two other major themes, but one of them is the change over time in the technology from the earliest days of people in Kentucky using cane torches to light their way as they explore Mammoth Cave thousands of years ago, to the candles that were used by early settler colonists in the area, to kerosene made from Kentucky coal and a coal gas that first lit our public spaces and that sort of thing. The other major theme is sort of the inequity through time in those technologies. While electricity came to Louisville in the 1880s, many places in the state didn't get electricity sometimes until as late as the 1950s. And so that really parallels one of the divides we see today, especially with coming out of the pandemic, that the digital divide, the so-called digital divide. Many communities don't have a place like the Frankfort Plant Board to provide excellent internet and other communication services. So those are the major themes, but we sort of have three different sections. One is on natural light and how it affects our lives, as well as the artificial light, and we have some great experimental interactives for the exhibit too.
It's almost like drilling down into the details of Kentucky history, you know, when you get an exhibit like this, you know, because there's so much that we can see and that we do see at the History Center, but when you really focus in on lighting and on illumination in the state, that's really interesting to me. And I personally love all types of light. I'm obsessed with it, kind of, from floating lanterns to you know, lamps, and
it's honestly a really interesting prism into Kentucky history.
Right.
Like, it's an interesting way. It's a cool focus point, I think, to look at.
A looking glass into and a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You're really hitting on one of the sort of driving, sort of organizing features of the exhibit, was to not necessarily look at big events or major historical figures, but to look at everyday objects and sort of see how deep we can dive on those and see all the little tidbits and the stories we can tease out of that. So.
How long will the exhibit be live, and will people be able to see it?
It'll be up through March. We're saying candlelight through equinox is the schedule for it, to sort of celebrate that darkest time of the year that will shed some light for the community, so to speak.
And the hours for the Historical Society are Tuesday through Saturday, right?
Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, I believe.
Yep, that's right. And folks can visit history.ky.gov, and that's where they can get more information and to purchase tickets. But let me circle back to an idea you just said a second ago about you had some experimental kind of interactive element of the exhibit. Yeah, please tell me about that.
We're going to try. We've got a couple of components that are hands-on that help visitors to explore some of these ideas about light. I don't want to. I'm not going to reveal too much, but some that involve some of the natural features of light, but also some of the ways that artists and entertainers have used light through the ages to tell stories or to or decorate our lives. So.
I like it. He's not going to he's going to keep those cards close to the chest.
That's right. People got to come out and check it out. I love when museums do have interactive elements because I feel like that really drives the point home for a lot of people and kids in particular, when they can actually have something hands-on and learn something as well.
You bet.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it because it's light is a magical thing when you all the different ways you can manipulate it from we're talking about movies and motion pictures or just the shade on a lamp and how you can change things. So like I said, I'm a fan and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. And like you said, it's the perfect time to come and see it with Candlelight Weekend starting up.
Yeah. Mr. Washburn, thank you for coming in.
You betcha.
Let's ask you real fast.
Yes, absolutely.
What are about our question of the day, and we'll check back in on our Facebook comments. But before we went live, I believe you had a good one for us, right? About what your favorite cooking show is or chef?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's a celebrity chef, but I was laid up with knee surgery for a while and got hooked on John Townsend and Sons YouTube channel, and he does a lot of 18th century cooking recipes in his traditional kitchen. He's up in Indiana somewhere, and I love it as a historian, as a person who loves historic themed everything. It's great. Some of his recipes are wonderful. Some of them are very strange to modern palates too. So Townsend and Son.
Yeah, I can imagine you put a couple hundred years and the different palettes. So.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, thanks so much for coming on and telling our viewers about Illuminations, the History Center's new exhibit, and they can check that out now through March. Thanks again for coming on.
Opens Thursday.
Opens
Candlelight.
Thursday.
Yep. We'll have
awesome.
a grand opening at Candlelight. Right.
Gotcha.
You bet.
Thank you.